America imprisons a larger percentage of its population than any other industrialized country in the world. It also charges a higher rate for health care and Medicaid than any other industrialized country in the world. America is also guilty of failing its most vulnerable citizens, including foster care children and the elderly. Today I'm going to be talking about the poverty industry, talk about how corporations and the government work together in order to exploit and make a profit off of the most vulnerable citizens. I'm going to start off by talking about the prison industrial complex and the privatization of prisons. Corporations and private prisons will take taxpayer money and create prisons where they use the prisoners there and work them at near slavery rates, paying them only pennies an hour at most. They get paid $2 an hour in 2 states in the United States. The government gives them an even larger incentive to do this by paying them $2,400 for every at-risk citizen that they hire, referring to prisoners. This makes it so corporations don't have to worry about being paid minimum wage. They don't have to worry about giving prisoners health care, paid time off, work schedules. They don't have to worry about them forming unions. The government also creates racist laws like the war on drugs that keeps those who've been imprisoned minorities in a constant cycle of being in and out of prison. The government also makes it so that those who have been imprisoned can't vote. So that way they can't vote to change the laws that are keeping them imprisoned. Next I'm going to be talking about the foster care system. The best way to illustrate the faults of the foster care system is to cite an example. Alex, whose last name remains anonymous, his mother and father passed away and he was eligible for survivor benefits. He was not told this, he did not know, and the foster care system applied for the benefits, decreed themselves the beneficiaries, and took all of the money that Alex was entitled to. He could have paid for his education with this money, or rent, or any number of things that would have helped him in his future. Instead, he got none of it. A lot of foster care systems lobby certain politicians and pay them in order to keep laws like this active. Next, I'm going to be talking about big drug companies. For most companies in the United States, it's illegal for monopolies to form because it makes it so if only one company is selling a good, they can charge whatever price they'd like. That's why we keep an open market, so it's competitive and you have more of an incentive to lower your prices so that consumers can choose whichever they'd like. However, with big drug companies, it takes around 10 to 15 years for a new drug to be developed. When it's released, other drug companies don't have an incentive to make another one because it's going to take them 10 to 15 years. So what happens is only one drug has one producer, and that way the drug company can charge whatever price they'd like for the said drug. In nursing homes, most of you probably know someone in a nursing home, have grandparents, looking for your parents to have one, or you're thinking about what you're going to do in your future. Nursing homes cost around $375 in the United States on average a day. That's over $3,000 a month, and a lot of nursing homes, as a lot of people know, don't get the best care. There's a lot of bad ones out there, and one thing that drug companies do is they see that and they give sedative drugs to the elderly staying there. That makes it easier for the elderly that are living there to be dealt with. It makes them less aware of what's going on, and they take advantage of them and get them hooked on these certain drugs. So these seem like a lot of problems that are completely different and don't really connect, but what it comes down to is big businesses taking advantage of the most vulnerable, minorities, and the poor in this country, and the government either allowing them to do it or helping them do it. It might seem like there aren't any solutions, but a couple things that you can do is you can either boycott the goods that certain companies produce, like Nintendo and Starbucks both use prison labor in order to make their goods. However, this is a lot easier said than done because it's a luxury to be able to afford goods that aren't produced by these companies, and these companies make sure that you can't afford these other goods. So the best thing to do is to tell your politicians that you will not support them or vote for them if they take money from big drug companies or from the prisons, and to make sure that they support bills that help foster care children and the elderly in our country.